My name is Dr. Richard Waldron, and I'm the Programme Director for the Bachelor in Planning, Environment and Development here in the School of Natural and Built Environment at Queen's University Belfast. In this introductory session, I'd like to give you a bit of an overview of some of the features of our undergraduate degree programmes, the structure of those programmes and how they're taught, as well as some useful information about our admissions process. So a planning degree really offers a really exciting future for students to develop their, filled with future career possibilities. Planners are really at the heart of society's response to major global challenges, whether they be environmental challenges like climate change, societal challenges or economic challenges like wealth inequality or promoting economic growth. Planning is really about shaping the places, where we live, work, play and learn, transforming our cities and towns and neighbourhoods in ways that can improve our lives. Planners help us to understand the space around us and through design try to create places that are more resilient and healthier and more sustainable and economically diverse. And here at Planning in Queen's University Belfast, we have developed our programmes with industry practitioners to help link the theory that our students undertake in their lectures with the practice and implementation of planning decision making on the ground. And this is really with a view to enhancing your career skills and employability. So why study urban planning? As I said, the built environment shapes our everyday lives, and our cities are thriving centres of commerce, of social activity, of cultural activity. And really, like I said, planning is about trying to shape the places where we live, work and play for the better. Planning, I suppose, at its heart is applied geography. Really, planners, in the same way that civil engineers are essentially applied mathematicians, geographers are essentially applied geographers, where we apply geographic knowledge to try and understand how people's relationship with the city influences their lives, but also how we can shape those cities and those urban environments to improve the quality of our lives. Planners really, influence decisions around how our built environment is created, how it is shaped, what gets built, where it gets built, why it is built, and for whom it is built, all with the aim of producing economically vibrant places, socially inclusive places, and ultimately environmentally sustainable places as well. And here at Queen's University, we really work hard to give you our students the skills to shape that positive future. So to give a couple of examples of this, by 2050, it's estimated that the population of the world's cities and towns is expected to double. That essentially means 180,000 people are going to move into the world's towns and cities every day for the next 30 years. How as planners are we going to be able to plan for that future population growth and urban expansion? And how are we going to do it in a way that is both sustainable and within current environmental limits? How can we adapt our cities to threats such as climate change or indeed the health impacts of the current pandemic that we're all living through? How can we work to make our cities more active and engaging through design and infrastructure implementations? For example, like the High Line Park here pictured in New York City. Like I said, planning really aims to address the major societal, environmental and economic challenges facing our world. How can we provide high quality yet high density residential environments that are both affordable and attractive and desirable? How can we create neighbourhoods and places that are attractive, where there are strong connections, strong social networks and a strong sense of identity amongst those communities? But how can we do this in a way that is both socially just and affordable? Planning is really, takes its aim to address long-term future challenges just as much as the kind of challenges that we face in our everyday present. How can we enable people and goods to move across our cities more efficiently, at a reasonable economic cost, and in a way that is both environmentally sustainable? For example, the picture here will be familiar to anybody commuting in and out of Belfast on a daily basis. In 2019, Belfast commuters were estimated to lose about 190 hours per year sat in traffic, representing an economic cost of about £1,400 per year, the second highest figure in the UK. So planners really are trying to come up with ways that we can shape or that we can move people between their work environments and their homes in a faster and more efficient way, and in a way that we can actually address the overall health of society as well. So through our courses here at Queen's University Belfast, we've really worked in partnership with representatives from the planning community to develop an innovative and highly exciting approach to planning education, and one that is highly focused on developing the skill sets that our students will need to prepare themselves for a future in planning practice. Our approach to planning education is underpinned by a number of guiding principles. Firstly, our program is really driven by the needs of practice, and we work hard with those in industry to develop the content of our degree programs. Secondly, we place a strong emphasis on developing skills and ensuring that our students have the necessary skill sets to shape the future of planning practice. We adopt a strongly interdisciplinary approach in our teaching. And because planning sits within the School of Natural and Built Environment, we draw on expertise from other staff members in related disciplines like civil engineering or architecture or geography. And drawing on that experience, we're able to develop a series of, or implement a series of project work throughout our degree programs and in our assessments that basically mimic the kind of work that our students will be doing in their future careers. We also draw on the university's very strong reputation as a research-led institution and one of the members of the Russell Group 8 of the UK's leading research institutions. Indeed, in planning, we have an international reputation for research excellence, and we have recognised experts in the areas of climate change, the social economy, urban regeneration and health that are all teaching on our programmes. We have a number of very large EU and UK funded research projects, meaning that we have a large number of postdoctoral researchers and PhD students that contribute to our multidisciplinary teaching expertise and ensure that we have a very strong research-led teaching environment. Like I said, we combine this expertise with those of colleagues from across the school in areas like architecture and civil engineering and geography, meaning that our students will take classes with students from other degree programs, meaning that you gain a variety of perspectives on shared challenges facing our cities today. Indeed, the planning discipline has been active at Queen's University Belfast since 1963, meaning we have a 60-year history in delivering planning education in Northern Ireland, and it is considered a gold standard in that performance. And this is recognised in how we have performed in the National Student Satisfaction Survey in recent years, and our performance in university league tables such as the Guardian University Guide. In our programs, we work with practitioners from a range of different planning areas to inform our teaching, and we're supported in this by organisations from a wide spectrum of organisations, whether that be local authorities, private developers, or specialist consultants from the sphere of planning practice. We obviously take this as an opportunity to involve these external practitioners in shaping our degree programs, our modules, and our course content. And through this, we integrate real-world live projects into our coursework and into our assignments. Indeed, many of our students would go out on live projects or live field trips related to specific planning issues or case study sites, where they will actually meet with many of the planners and developers involved, and in so doing, connect the theory that they are learning in their lectures with the implementation of that knowledge in planning practice. And we're supported in this by a range of different organisations, whether that be Belfast City Council, the Department for Infrastructure, the Belfast Harbour Commissioners, the East Side Partnership, among others. And through this approach, we really try to develop students' specialist discipline-specific planning skills, whether that be in their spatial analysis skills, their design skills, their research skills, but we combine that with transferable skills that can be applied across a whole range of different career areas. For example, communication skills, presentation skills, negotiation and advocacy skills. Here at the planning discipline at Queen's, we also have a strong reputation for research excellence. If you join the planning discipline here, you can expect a small cohort experience where we would typically bring in 30 to 35 students on our program every year. This means that we've one of the best staff-student ratios across the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences. And it also means that our students get a greater level of one-to-one engagement with their lecturing staff than other degree programs. We implement a variety of different teaching techniques in our learning. Our students will take traditional lectures, but they will also take seminars, which are smaller group-based discussion forums. We would use a lot of skills workshops in our teaching. For example, students in their first year with me will take geographic information systems class, which is basically computer-based mapping, where you will work in the computer lab with me, engaged in hands-on mapping projects. We also incorporate field trips into many of our modules and our coursework, ensuring that students again get to spend a lot of time working with practitioners in the field. Like I said, our teaching environment here is very much a multidisciplinary environment, and we draw on the expertise of guest lecturers from the fields of architecture, geography, civil engineering, and the like. And our students get to share their modules with students from related disciplines. Through our course, our students partake in a number of exciting hands-on projects every year, as I've said. And just to give you two examples of these, in the final year of our BSc programme and the third year of our M-Plan programme, our students undertake an international field trip to a major European city to study the practice of urban planning in a different socioeconomic, cultural and political contexts. In recent years, our students have visited the case of Barcelona, a city our students particularly enjoy going to. There they focus on many of the key challenges facing that city, whether that be housing shortages, the impacts of tourism overconsumption, or issues regarding traffic and congestion, which is a particular issue in the city. But our students also focus on the policy responses, meeting planners and academics from that city, hearing about how they have responded to these challenges. And we try to take that knowledge and learning back to the case of Belfast in Northern Ireland. In level 2, in our site layout and design module, our students go out and undertake an active planning assessment of a live development site in Belfast City. And in recent years, this has been down to the Sailortown area down in Belfast Harbour in the waterfront, where there are major regeneration projects ongoing. So our students will be given a case site. They will go out and they will speak to some of the planners and the developers involved, and they analyse the context of that site, some of the development trends. They will analyse what are the barriers or the challenges to actually delivering that site, what are the planning issues involved, and they will come up with their own proposals in terms of design, how to address those issues. In this work, our students are actually mimicking the kind of projects they will be working on in their future career, again bringing that practical experience back into the classroom. So in your career, you may seek to gain a professional recognition of your degree, of your graduate role. And to do that, you may seek to apply for membership of the Royal Town Planning Institute, which is essentially the professional body that charters or accredits all practicing planners in the UK. Indeed, the RTPI also come to assess our degree programmes every year alongside the Royal Institute for Chartered Surveyors. And we work with our partners in the RTPI to shape and manage our programmes to ensure that they meet the needs of industry. Indeed, both our BSc and M-Plan programmes are accredited by the RTPI and RICS. This means that our students, certainly our M-Plan students, can once they have graduated from our degree programme, they can apply for graduate membership of the RTPI. Our BSc students have the option of undertaking an additional 1-year optional Masters in City Planning and Design, at which point they can then apply for RTP graduate membership, and having a Master's qualification is a requirement of RTPI membership. However, the BSc is certainly the first step on the path to achieving that recognition. In terms of your career, nationally it is known that there is a shortage of qualified practicing planners in both the UK and Ireland. But we also know that given the scale of development that's happening around the world, there are certainly opportunities for an internationally focused career in planning as well. Also, because of the emphasis that we place on the interdisciplinary nature of planning and how we deliver planning education, but also because of the transferable skills that we develop here, our students also have opportunities for employment in other sectors. That said, we do know that the marketplace for graduate employment is competitive, and as such we take the opportunity to integrate your career development into our degree programs to as great an extent as possible. To give you an example of this, one of the developments that we've brought in recent years is to introduce an optional 1-year work placement on our degree program, meaning that our students will actually go out and spend a year, if they wish. They can spend a year working in a professional practice role, either in the public sector or the private sector, This option is available to students on both our BSc and our M-Plan degree pathways, and it occurs between years 2 and years 3 of study. So as a discipline, we will work with our students to place our students into any planning organisation that they may wish. That could be a local authority, it could be a specialist planning consultancy, it might be a non-governmental organisation or an advocacy group. And it can be related to any aspect of planning. It might be a specialism in transportation planning or housing or urban design. The university and staff from the planning discipline will work with our students to support and help shape their application to achieve one of these competitive placements. Although there is no, these are not compulsory, they are an option that students can choose to take if they wish. The staff will work with the university's careers, employability and skills team to help place students into these work placement roles. Our students also undertake training through 2 dedicated modules on our programs to help sharpen their CV skills, their interview preparation skills, and to undertake training in workplace etiquette. We have a dedicated placement coordinator who will work with our students to sharpen their skills and to identify placement opportunities. So our level 2 work placement, it is a real opportunity for our students to gain real life work experience and to apply the learning that they've developed in their modules into the field of professional practice. It's also an opportunity for them to harness and practice their transferable skills and to build their own research network in the planning policy community, practitioner community. Through the school and working with the university, we put a lot of effort into supporting our students onto these schools. For example, we participate in the university's Careers and Work Placements Fair, which usually takes place in March of every year. We try to literally place our students into the kinds of organizations that they wish to work for. And we will facilitate meetings between students and some of those employers' representatives. We also have our own discipline networks where we try to shape and create individual work placement opportunities in the public and private sector. And again, we work with the university's careers, employability and skills team to do this. As I said, our students receive dedicated work placement training across 2 modules in level 2 in their 2nd semester. And these are facilitated through a series of skills workshops and seminars on a whole range of topics, like I said, interview techniques, communication skills, conduct in the work placement skills. And we're really trying to give our students a range of insights into different professional working environments. We do know that there is a large demand out there for planning graduates, both across the UK and Ireland. And indeed, you'll hear from some of our graduates in just a little while. Graduates from our programs have progressed on to work in a whole variety of different roles, whether that be working in local planning authorities and councils, or working for central government departments, for non-governmental organisations like the Northern Ireland Housing Executive, for example, or for advocacy groups, or indeed for development companies themselves. And there are a whole range of different thematic areas of employment that could be in public sector planning or in transportation or social regeneration or design. It really just depends on the student's own individual passion. So within the School of Natural and Built Environment, and indeed across the university, we have exceptional supports here that we incorporate into our teaching in world-class facilities. We also have discipline-specific facilities that we incorporate into our own teaching within the planning discipline ourselves. Firstly, we have the Maclay Library, which is an award-winning design and world-class library facility. Here we have our own student IT help desk. We have a dedicated school librarian who ensures that our students have access to all the key textbooks and journals that they might need to complete their coursework, as well as access to state-of-the-art computing facilities. Our students also have individual study areas as well as bookable group study rooms. Across the university, our students have access to 5 major computing areas, but also within the School of Natural and Built Environment, we have our own dedicated computer lab in the David Kerr building. Furthermore, for planning, we also have additional computing facilities up in our dedicated planning studio on the 3rd floor of the David Kerr building, which you can see in the bottom picture on the right there. This is a dedicated workspace for our undergraduate and postgraduate students to come and work on their individual projects or group projects. And this facility also has printing facilities and scanning facilities as well built in. Our students also have access to state-of-the-art GIS teaching laboratory, where they get access to all of the necessary software, data files and map files that they need to engage in their mapping projects. Our IT quality at this stage is second to none, and even before the COVID-19 pandemic, we had incorporated a lot of e-teaching tools and online assessment into our coursework. All of our students get access to digital material that they may need for their coursework, whether that be lecture slides, book chapters, additional reports, and that's all delivered through our state-of-the-art e-learning platform called Canvas, where students also receive feedback on their coursework and assessments as well. And the university have really put huge resources into this online platform in recent years. Over the next few slides, I'd like to give you a brief overview of our undergraduate programs and their structures, and a little bit more detail on the modules that are delivered across years, as well as how our students progress through these modules. As I've said, our planning degree has 2 pathways: the 3-year option, which is the BSc in Planning, Environment and Development, and our 4-year M-Plan option in European Planning. The M-Plan is basically the fully integrated BSc with an additional 1-year master's, which takes place in one of our partner universities, which in recent years have been to countries like in the Netherlands or Sweden and France. The first 2 years of both programs are delivered in tandem, with some divergence in year 3, when the M-Plan students go on to take more specialist modules related to European planning issues. The BSc program is our foundation in spatial analysis and design, and it begins from introductory level in year 1 up to more advanced specialist modules in year 3. There is no assumption of, that a student needs to have prior knowledge of planning before this. And indeed, there is no requirement that our students should have studied specific subjects at A level. Indeed, because of the interdisciplinary nature of planning, we seek applicants from a broad spectrum of different subject knowledges and experience. Our M-Plan program builds on our BSc foundation by offering this 1-year option to a EU university, where our students tend to focus on a greater range of European-wide planning issues. There is the opportunity to join the BSc program and then migrate to the M-Plan program at the end of year 2, provided the student maintains a 55% minimum degree average over their first 2 years. The entry-level qualifications for both degree programs are provided. As you can see, for the BSc program, we seek an A level of ABB, while for the M-Plan, the entry requirement is AAB. And please do visit our website for the entry requirements for additional entry pathways, whether that be the Leaving Cert, for example, or a vocational degree. In terms of the modules, as I said, both the BSc and the M-Plan offer students the option of a 1-year work placement in between their 2nd and 3rd year of study on both programs. In essence, the BSc program can be converted to a 4-year pathway if a student chooses to take this additional optional 1-year placement. Similarly, the M-Plan degree can be extended to a 5-year degree if the student wishes to take this optional placement. We really have worked hard with industry practitioners to inform the development of our modules and our course content. And as I said, the program is structured to take students really from an introductory entry level that assumes no prior knowledge of planning in year 1, and takes them up to more advanced and specialist modules delivered in years 3 and 4, depending on the program. As I said, year 1 is an introductory year and assumes no prior knowledge of planning. Students take introductory modules related to health, well-being and design, the introductions to the history of the built form and urban design issues, as well as contemporary issues in planning and urban and rural planning. These are combined with some specialist skills modules, such as planning skills in GIS, as well as an introductory module on the policy context of planning practice. In years 2, students start to develop their theoretical knowledge in greater depth through modules like Planning Theory and Society and the Theory and Practice of Development Management. However, we combine these with specialist modules as well related to issues like climate change or the economic context of planning. We also introduce practice-based modules like site layout and design in this second year. Following the optional work placement, the student enters level 3, where there is a greater divergence between the BSc and the M-Plan programs, as the M-Plan students begin to focus more on thematic European modules like themes in European planning or researching European planning. The BSc students also take more specialist or thematic modules like themes in spatial planning, as well as practitioner-led modules like legal studies and planning. There is also a greater degree of independence at level 3 in learning, where the students begin to undertake their independent dissertation topic, obviously with the support of an academic supervisor who will be one of the members of staff. Year 3 also sees our students engage on their international field trip, but they also have the option to take elective modules here, and they can choose between one of conservation in the built environment or infrastructure and transportation planning based on their areas of interest. Year 4 is unique to the M-Plan program, and as I said, it's a year where the student develops their specialist knowledge of European planning issues through an exchange program to a partner university. Here they will take a series of modules based on interest of them and depending on those offered by that partner university. But they will be supported in this through regular meetings with their Erasmus coordinator, which is one of our members of staff back here in Belfast. The M-Plan students will also undertake their own independent dissertation project, again with the support of a supervisor here from Queen's University Belfast. In terms of assessment, our students are assessed in a variety of ways involving both individual and group assessments. For example, our students may be asked to undertake individual essays, or they could be asked to work on group design projects as well. Furthermore, students may be asked to participate in presentations or debates, or they might be asked to undertake individual exams. In our degree programs, the emphasis is very much on continuous assessment and the completion of coursework, with a much lesser emphasis on exams. Indeed, over our entire BSc degree program, there are only 3 exams over the whole program, one taking place each year. So the emphasis is very much on continuous assessment. We also seek to incorporate practical or hands-on experience in our courseworks, as I said, where students will develop their kind of practice-based knowledge and skills in a module setting through their assessments. And all assessments are provided upfront to students in the student handbook at the start of the year. Here in planning, we're very proud of our programs that we have developed, and often this is based on the feedback that we receive from industry who are involved in actually undertaking annual program reviews each year. To give you a good example of this, you can see the quote here provided by David Mansteven, who is Director of Fleming Mansteven Planning, a consultancy based here in Belfast. David was also one of the external examiners on our undergraduate degree programs in recent years. You can see David praises our integration of practitioner expertise into our teaching and the ways that we actually integrate practice-based tutors and guest lecturers into our teaching. In David's view, this is very good for students to hear these practitioner views, as it helps develop their employability and skills. Indeed, we actively seek the views of industry leaders into the setting of our degree programs and our module content through our professional practice board, which meets on a regular basis to ensure that our degree programs meet industry's needs. This kind of engagement is also key for us for securing placement opportunities for our own students. So, just in conclusion, I'd like to say thank you for your attention over the last 30 minutes or so. I do hope that you've found it a useful introduction to planning here at Queen's University Belfast. If you would like some further information, please do visit our school website, which you can see here in the lecture slide, and please do follow us on through our social media challenges, both on Facebook and Twitter.